right, greetings and salutations, everyone. This is the Crypto Truth, where I give you the truth as I see it. Today, we're just going to go over this Medium post here with Holochain, and I'm going to talk to you guys about Holochain a little bit. First and foremost, this is very important. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a professional anything. I'm just a regular guy like you guys. And girls, gals, whatever. I'm just a regular human being. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm also going to preface this. I am going to read this whole entire thing. So if some of you may have some other things to do or may not want to listen to the whole thing, I'm just warning you right now that it's going to be quite long, but it is what it is, as I am a huge fan of Holochain and I do like to talk about it. So let's go ahead and start here. It says, when we first began this project, we shared our vision for an internet of peer-to-peer web applications that would give users the power to direct their own online experiences. We connected with thousands of people, also inspired by the possibility of removing centralizing powers built into the infrastructure so that humanity might vastly expand its creative and collaborative potential. The launch of Elemental Chat in our alpha test certainly doesn't get all that done, but it is a real step towards realizing that promise. Elemental Chat, running on Holoports, has no central database. Each person who is running the app signs their messages to their own chain and then automatically posts them to the shared database that is hosted by the other users of the application. This is the start of something. This isn't simply the seed of an idea. The deep roots of Holochain and Holo have fully sprouted and are now growing and strengthening. And so basically, just side note here, as I stated before, some people thought that Holochain was dead, their organizations were dead. None of that is dead right now. Everything is going as, sorry, I had to make sure that everything was on. Everything is going as planned. And it may have taken some time, but now they are starting to do some things. So it says this is rapid recent growth in demonstration and timeline events that led us to this current release. So it's going back to saying what they've been doing lately. 15th of September, we shared publicly about Holochain RSM. 15th of October, we shared our path to beta roadmap for Holochain RSM. And you know what? I'm going to go before this, even before this during the summertime, they talked about Holo Fuel. If you guys can go back to those Holo Fuel videos, I think they'll be very interesting. So if you guys have any questions about Holo Fuel or the hot token, you might want to check that out. There's still obviously some questions that we have. Maybe they can give you a better idea. There's also something at the bottom of this that I believe may give us some insight of what they're planning on doing with Holo, the hot token, and Holo Fuel. So we're going to go ahead and give that as well. 12th of November, we shared about the upcoming networking features for Holochain RSM in the dev post. 27th of November, we announced also in the dev post that networking RSM had landed. 24th of December, we announced Elemental Chat was released to pre-release testers. They were also releasing it on their, trying to experiment with it on their, their AMA, which they desperately need a new AMA right now. The 29th of January, we shared about rewriting automated test tools for RSM in the dev post. And then the 10th of February, we announced the release of Element Chat to host. The speed of which we have been able to move since the launch of Holochain RSM is indicative of how quickly and easily others will also be able to bring new P2P app to market. So let's dig into what Elemental Chat is, what it is not, and when it lets us do and what it lets us do moving forward. So I'm glad they have this whole little thing here. I am going to be reading this, but this is more of a deep dive into Elemental Chat to explain to regular people like me and you who are not really into all the technical jargon of exactly what's going on here. So Elemental Chat is simply a proof of concept application. What we mean by that is that it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of popular messaging apps on the market today. You can create channels and you can send messages. You can also query the application network to see how many nodes are connected and how many people have the application in their web browser. What you can't do is limit what channels you see or follow, or send messages to only one person. You also can't have reply threads. And in fact, the UI doesn't even showcase all of the best features in Holochain. In this super basic testing app, you see everything and can differentiate little, which means a little less than ideal user experience. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, I gotta get a new computer. I really do, because this is frustrating me. There it is. Wow. What you can't do is limit channels you see or follow, or send messages to only one person. I already read that. Testing out different. And by the way, it shows you the demo, which in my other videos I showed you the demo. None of those wonderful user-friendly features are included with Elemental Chat, and that is intentional. We wanted an uncomplicated app with only a few features to avoid spending too much of our time testing and debugging a chat application, when our focus is really to build an underlying infrastructure that comprises the Holo distributed hosting platform. So basically, the main thing that they wanted to do is they wanted to get something working. That's it. They just wanted to make sure, hey, can we build something and make it work? And I think that's smart. That's a smart way of doing things, instead of saying we got this new awesome app and it's totally cool. But this is totally cool. But they really wanted to make sure that everything was going to work like they want it to work. So kudos on them. Obviously, they know what they're doing, especially when it comes to technical stuff. So let's move on. A chat app differentiates Holochain from blockchain. Paul explained a few of the reasons why we chose Elemental Chat to release as the first distributed app for Holo quite nicely in December 24th dev post. First, we thought it would be more fun to test. Second, we knew it would push against all of Holochain's capabilities in ways that would show up any bugs. And third, we wanted something that would show us where the performance bottlenecks were. So, but in another important reason for us is because chat functionality illustrates the difference and potential of Holochain as compared to blockchain. Now, here we go. Releasing a chat app, even a toy app like Elemental Chat, demonstrates unequivocally that Holochain is designed for building classes of applications that could never really work on a blockchain. Think about apps where things like scalability and speedy transactions or interactions are crucial for basic functionality. The vast majority of web apps that we use in our lives simply do not require the global consensus of a blockchain, and in fact could be hampered if we try to force them into consensus models. Chat exemplifies this difference to us in the most natural of ways. And I like this example here. So it says, imagine being at a party with 25 to 100 of your closest friends, with people in small groups around the room chatting. Many different conversations are happening in the room simultaneously. You might be able to hear parts of many of them, but you are likely paying attention to one or two of them more than the others. Each other person in the room is most likely doing the same. This is they are listening to the conversation they are having, not to the general hum of conversation in an entire space. Because of that, each person has their own unique experience of what is being said. I doubt anyone at the party would say that there was something wrong with the way people were communicating. In fact, that very normal in-person, multi-sensory type of setting is exactly what many of us have been missing this past year during the pandemic. This is so true. So let's talk about how typical a blockchain might try to model the communication of that party. One person, Alice, might say something. Another person, Bob, would need to process it and clarify to everyone else what was said, and would record it and ensure that each person understood it in the exact same way. The first person, Alice, could not say something again until the first thing she said was processed by every person in the room. Some sort of order would need to be created for who was speaking, because each statement would need to get placed in the correct order and shared with every other person in the room for the conversation to be deemed valid. Now, again, this example is a great example. It sounds kind of crazy, right? So if I said, Hey, yo, man, guess what? I went to the court the other day. I did a turnaround, fadeaway on this dude at the 3-point line, and man, it was awesome. And then whoever I'm telling says the same thing to everybody else, but then I can't say anything else because everyone's still trying to validate what I just said. So, it's kind of crazy. This sounds ludicrous because it is. Consistent models are irrelevant for many human needs, and when it comes to collaboration, they are often extremely inefficient. With blockchains, that inefficiency is evident in multiple ways, but perhaps most explicitly, excuse me, by the extreme consumption of energy and creation of waste used to power the networks. This is so true. The reality is many applications only need to do two things really well: enable ease of coordination and reach eventual consistency. Let's take a look now at Holochain's natural patterns approach would model the same party. As you speak with a small subset of your friends, your messages are saved to your local chain. Your friends that are participating in the conversation will receive an immediate signal and hear your message. After someone's message is saved to their local chain, it is also saved to a group database, or DHT. After a short while, your part of the shared database will get updated with messages from other conversations happening elsewhere in the party. And eventually, you'd have access to all of the gossip messages from the party. Sounds like a great and memorable party. The use of natural patterns to model digital interaction is something that makes Holochains different. It's why Holochain enables applications that can truly scale and why it's ideal for collaboration. Holochain ensures agency for each user but does not require imposing a singular perspective. So now how does this work for currencies? So we can see why Holochain is great for modeling a chat app, but many were expecting us to release the app that will run Holo's cryptocurrency HoloFuel. People often ask, how can HoloFuel work without a consensus? Imagine a bunch of parents in a community creating a babysitting time swap system and have a phone app where I can Reddit you for 3 hours of babysitting, and my babysitting balance goes down by 3 hours when I do. Some people have provided more babysitting than they've received, and they show a positive balance of hours. Other folks who have received more babysitting than they've provided would have a negative balance of hours. If Alice needs to transfer some credits to Bob, do we really need global consensus? No. Do we need to know the state of every account in the system? No, only Bob's and Alice's accounts are changing from this transaction, and they are the only authorities to make changes to their accounts. They can sign a single identical transaction to each of their claims, a transaction that shows Alice spending credits and Bob receiving them. And when they publish it to the rest of the network, others on the network will validate the transaction to make sure it follows the shared agreements. It is basically that simple. Well, it's not quite that simple, but for a better understanding of how Holochain works, check out this 12-minute video. Again, I believe it'll probably take us to the other 12-minute video that we were watching, like I watched part of. Hopefully you guys watched the entire thing because it was really good. This model for currency is more like peer-to-peer accounting of value, where your chain holds the history of your transactions. Not everyone is transacting in hours of babysitting, but the principles of the model network exactly the same way when you replace babysitting with distributed cloud hosting as the service. And it will work that way for food, energy, and many other applications as well. Now, the release of Element Chat for hosts is an important step forward on the journey. For us, though, the next infrastructure milestone is one we'll be doing backflips about. This is when non-hosts, regular web users, will actually get the experience of creating an account and logging into Elemental Chat, and that is hosted or hosts holoports. We are already beginning the testing cycle for that milestone. Wow, I didn't even realize they were already doing the testing for that. So this is great. Someone who doesn't even have a holoport could be able to participate in Elemental Chat, which is great. In the coming weeks, you can count on us to support more and more hosts to connect their ports to the Holo network and to begin chatting in Elemental Chat. We will be assessing how well the performance scales and listening to what folks have to say about it. We will most likely make a few small changes to the chat app as we prepare for the wider release to web users. We will continue to evolve the testing framework so that it can be used more generally by hosted apps, not just applications we directly install on HPOS. As we shared in previous article, we are also moving forward on several of the other milestones that come after Elemental Chat. We may even be releasing the host console work simultaneously, but we are not promising that yet. After that, we'll be focusing on the Holofuel application. So it says right here is milestones on what they're doing. The Holofuel application is going to be huge. So it says right here, what isn't visible from these diagrams, however, is the work on Holochain that is continuing to evolve and which is critical for both Holo and community application developers who are building apps in our ecosystem. Holochain has been steadily improving usability of the framework. When we first announced RSM, though it was vast improvement technically, we hadn't started releasing to crates nor stabilized the Holochain Development Kit HDK. We have recently shipped a raft of breaking changes to the HDK, which should be fairly stable now. We've also nixified Holochain to make it easier to install and share identical installations among collaborators. You can stay current with the latest tested version via holochain.love. In the next coming weeks, there will be additional improvements to Holochain. Following the changeover of the database engine, we'll be implementing sharding and other key network scaling features before we move on to more security and identity management features. All of these are foundations necessary for the beta release of Holo. So I will leave you with another shout out to all of those who are supporting this amazing work coming into being. Kudos to the dev teams for bringing the release across the finish line. Kudos to community-facing teams who are supporting hosts, getting connected to the network. Kudos to all of the devs in the community, pulling for new features and demonstrating how natural patterns work in Holochain. Kudos to all the admins and volunteers who share their knowledge and newcomers to the project. In gratitude, Mary. So Miss Mary Camacho, hopefully I say her name right, because you guys know how bad I am with names. But here we go. So this is where we are right now. We are in a great spot in which we're starting to see, like, these are the ground roots of something amazing. And the best way that, well, I can't really describe it that way because not many of you guys are anime fans, but I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. So if any of you guys get this analogy, kudos to you. So it's almost like you guys remember when Goku learned, I guess, how to raise his energy level, right? How to raise his power level. Well, that was something that was like the core of almost everything. Being able to raise your power level enabled him later on, after he met Vegeta, to get to another power level. And after that, with Frieza, he was able to turn into Super Saiyan. And after that, we're going into Super Saiyan 2 and 3 and everything else in between. By the way, side note, real quick, I know this is a Holochain video, but side note, can anybody tell me exactly why Vegeta cannot go to Super Saiyan 3? I just want to know. He can't. He's the only one that hasn't gone to Super Saiyan 3. Now I want to know why. Because it's been killing me throughout all these years. It's just been killing me. I want to know that there's some kind of backstory. I've looked it up. I can't find out why. I just want to know why. Even just a creative lie would probably help me. Anyway, going back. So those were the foundations, the beginning of something that grew and something that exploded over time as far as evolving. And it's the same thing with Holochain. This is the grassroots of something. And I like the picture here. It has like a little root thing here. It's the grassroots of something that's going to grow over time. Now, here's something that I want you guys to understand. The example that she used, or they used, with the whole Holofuel thing, that's kind of important. The reason why I'm saying this is because they were talking about, if you guys remember, they were talking about in the last video, in their AMAs over the summer about Holofuel, how Holofuel definitely, you're going to be able to use Holofuel and it's going to be in exchanges and you can exchange it one-to-one. Well, if if hollow fuel is on the exchanges, then what is the use of the hot token? That, I think that's the main thing. Now, yes, I do agree that, you know, whatever we're doing right now, if you're accumulating hot, is the best thing that we can do, because we can switch it over to hollow fuel. I believe that gives us a choice, because last time they said it was within 6 months to change it from 1-to-1 from the hot token to hollow fuel. We still don't know exactly how that's going to happen, and to be honest with you guys, I really don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, which means that the hot token will have value for quite a while. So even if hollow fuel comes out, their intentions were to have hollow fuel, those who earn hollow fuel, to switch over and go into the hot token, so that it'll be a medium of exchange, so that you can go into the hot token or exchange it for, you know, whatever token, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you want to do with it. So, but that is until hollow fuel actually gets on exchanges. So anyway, we still have a lot of questions about that. I'm loving what they've been doing. As you guys have realized and noticed, for many of you know that that the hot token has been taken off. This is awesome. This is a great thing that's been going on. I'm really excited. For many of you out there who are just pining for at least 1 cent and it's going to make a lot of money, even if it just gets to 1 cent, wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I'm happy for you guys. Continue to make money. As far as me, someone asked me what I plan on doing with it. I've explained it in my other video, but for the most part, I'm going to be waiting a while. I don't want to become a thousandaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to have generational wealth for me and my family. And I believe that this is the best way to go about doing it. And so, yeah, my goal is to just have strong hands, hold it, and then obviously, if it does reach a certain amount, I'm not going to lie, if it reaches $1 anytime soon, I probably will take some what do they call it, profits, excuse me, and then I'll move on from there. But yeah, other than that, we'll see how things go. And hey, it's a good day. It's a good day to be a matter of fact, it's been a good month to be a Holochain fan. It's gonna move forward. People, stay strong. Stay in the know. Make sure you do your own research, as I always say. And most importantly, you guys, please stay safe out there. Take it easy, everyone.